So it's actually recording right now. So you guys are ready, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Seatbelts fastened. You ready? Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Time for Skip Happens. No borders, no rules.
Love it! Love it! Love it!
Can I scream really loud?
And there it is. Here we go. It's it's the Halloween edition of Skip Happens. This is crazy. Actually, this is my niece, Ashley, who, I don't even know how to describe you. Very intelligent.
That's a compliment.
It is. It is. But this is the Skip Happens podcast. And when I do the podcast, you never know who's going to be on, what we're going to do. It gets a little bit crazy. All sorts of guests, everything from musicians to politicians to relatives. But there's a lot of talent in my family. And I'm very blessed to actually have married into the family. And Ashley, who is right here to my left, and if you're looking at, it would be your left, she has a thing she calls Nightmare Barbie. So she said, hey, Uncle Skip, let's do a little bit of a podcast about Nightmare Barbie. Now, I don't know who the hell Nightmare Barbie is. I have no idea. So we're going to start from scratch. First of all, you walk through my door. It's amazing what you do. It really is. You Ashley, you have an education. You have a degree in forensics.
Yep.
Is that what? All right, don't be afraid of the mic. But
Yes.
Okay, and you have a great job. You're doing really awesome. But is this what you do, like a hobby, or would you like to do all this makeup stuff like as a career? Because I think it's phenomenal what you do.
I mean, I wouldn't object to Hollywood picking me up.
Shout out.
Skip Happens. You never know. And by the way, that's Jordyn way down at the end of the table, which is very cool. Ladies, don't be afraid of the microphones. So, all right, let's.
Plain next to Ashley.
Here we go. Nightmare Barbie. Tell me about it.
Nightmare Barbie started way ago. No, actually, about a week and a half ago, it was the 5-year anniversary of Nightmare Barbie starting. I used to work at a haunt in Buffalo, and there was a few times actually that I'd scare a group of people, and the reaction was, "Barbie, you don't belong here," and I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it.
Really?
Keep it going.
So you just, because they were just saying Barbie, you just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
And you called it Nightmare Barbie.
And she became my alter ego, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Now, as we can see, you are in makeup here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You've got are those contacts? What?
No, they're my real eyes.
Well, I don't know. How do you do that? Explain what you did to make yourself
they are
look like
contacts.
Nightmare Barbie.
I just kind of grab a paintbrush and let it roll, but the contacts definitely seal the deal. There's been times I've done some characters, I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. You put the contacts and you're like, who even are you? So,
I think the amazing thing is that she does this in, like, she's looking at herself in a mirror, and she does this, like, to herself.
Right.
So it's not even like she's just, like, it's just insane because you have to think backward when you're doing these designs, and I think it's so talented that you can do that.
No, absolutely. You must be like in your own world.
mm-hmm.
You don't want to be bothered or anything. You have the mirror and you sit there and you just
Yeah, I mean,
you paint your body.
yeah, there's times I spend 7-8 hours on a paint, and I look at the clock, I'm like, oh, the day's gone. But it's something. It's kind of like for you reading a book, you go into a whole different world, and then when you come back, it's almost kind of sad.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, back to reality. But so this is kind of like my book. I get to make my own world the way I want it to be from everyday life. So
Wow. It's amazing. Everybody's got their own little thing. This is your little thing.
Yep.
And Jordyn's I know Jordyn does read a lot, always, because my wife and her are always exchanging books. So.
Oh, yes.
And all that good stuff. But this is your thing. So tell me a little bit. You were just, you did a video?
I've done several.
You just did something, though, correct? Or no?
I've done several.
I think he's talking about the music video.
Oh, okay.
No,
No,
which
but
one, though?
there was.
She does a lot of things.
So talk to us about what you've done in the way of. I know you produce your own videos, and just amazing work. What you do.
Yeah, I mean, me and my best friend would do videos in her basement a lot. Just little 1-minute videos with our characters. And then we did 31 Days of Halloween last year, or 31 Days of October. And that was exhausting. We were up till 3, 4 in the morning every single night. But ultimately, I think that if we didn't have each other, we wouldn't have got through that. But this year alone has just completely flipped things around for me, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that I've had. Starting off in April, I was contacted by a film company down in Baltimore to design the makeup for a full-length film that's actually being filmed right now. I think it's coming out next year. I can't confirm that.
So you might be doing this, or you are doing this.
I mean, I am doing it, but it's kind of like I'm not actively.
How did your uncle not know this?
She keeps a lot of secrets.
Apparently.
Oh, surprise. No, but it started off there. And then, I mean, just in these few weeks, I've had several music videos I've worked on, both local and I went to Brooklyn for one. That one's hopefully coming out soon. That was for a metal band. And then the most recent one that I did was for a rap music video in Syracuse. That one does come out on Halloween. So, and I've been working closely with this director out in Auburn for several music videos. And I feel like we have a good connection, but he's helped me out so much. And like I said, I'm forever grateful for everything.
Your eyes are freaking me out. Seriously. I'm
glad
watching
I'm
you and
over
I'm
here.
listening and I'm like getting all freaked out over this. But wow, that is really cool. So these videos will be public then.
Yep, they'll be on YouTube and I'll share them on my pages. I have like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So
And if somebody wants to see your work, is it a Nightmare Barbie page?
Yep. So,
Okay.
like I said, I'm on every social media. So on Facebook, just Nightmare Barbie. On Instagram, it's Nightmare_Barbie. That's the primary account that you'll see if I have any new postings or characters. It's been probably the most active. I try to post on my Facebook. Sometimes I forget, and Twitter is the worst. But most of my stuff when I'm working on it that day, like if I'm on set, sometimes I'll make short stories or whatever on the Instagram story.
What do you mean on set? I mean, you work all day, a regular job.
Yep.
When do you find time to be on set?
Well, so
Or is that like a
She
weekend or
doesn't
night
sleep.
thing?
I was gonna say sleep is for the weak. No.
Thanks.
And I must say, between Jordan and Ashley, they're like best friends. And, our family is very strong. And just the support. I mean, the support you get from your family. I know, your mom and dad are
for
just,
sure.
that's amazing what they do.
Mean, I'm really grateful for everything they've done support-wise, too. I mean, sometimes you get people that are like, oh, that's so weird. But there's other people that are like, that's weird, but I want to see more. It's one of those things.
I think I'm in that
wanna,
category.
You don't want to
Same.
look, but you can't.
Yeah,
you can't look away.
Yeah, I think it's
But-
weird, but I want to see more.
Like when I get things at like midnight or 1 a.m. and I open it, I'm like, no, I'm not going to
She
sleep
does that to you.
anymore.
Yeah, maybe she
gets-
does that on purpose.
You get all the
I don't know.
Snapchat stories at midnight that are.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you guys, is there like a group of you? Do you do this on your own? Do you belong to an organization at all? Is there any like a group of individuals that get together and do makeup, or you just get your friends and
So a lot of the stuff is online. Most times, especially with artists nowadays, everything is social networking. I mean, like I said, I do have my friend Danielle. Her and I will work closely together. I know there's obviously probably other makeup artists that are working with their friends and stuff, but I haven't really run into them. Otherwise, there's a really tight artist community on Instagram and stuff. And I've met some incredible artists on there, and I continue to. And some of them I'm proud to call my friends now. I used to look up, I still do, but I used to look up to their work and go, wow, that's amazing. I wish that I could be friends with somebody like this. And now here I am, and I'm friends with these people. And,
When would you say you really got interested in something like this? I know when you went to school for forensics, I get that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of in a world of its own. And a lot of people probably go, why? Because, but it's very interesting. I get it. But does that have anything to do with why you're doing all the makeup and being somebody like this,
being
Nightmare
a cornball,
Barbie?
Being a cornball, I was born this way. No, no. I mean, even as a kid, like I'd read like Goosebumps, and my aunt was always sneaking me Stephen King books and everything. If my dad was watching a horror movie I was too young for, I was behind the trash can watching it because they couldn't see that I was watching it. I've just always been intrigued in that whole like horror different style. Haunted houses have never really been a scare for me, but they're exciting. That's so fancy.
No, I hit the wrong button. That's the one I wanted.
It's like Twilight Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
so, I mean, does it like the haunted? You worked at the Haunt in Buffalo.
Yeah,
right?
I worked at House of Horrors and Haunted
House
Catacombs.
of Horrors. Okay.
That place was really scary.
Yeah. Have you been, Jordyn?
Yes, I went and surprised her. She had no idea I was coming, and she told all of her friends who worked there what I looked like, what I was wearing, because she knew I was terrified, and they all came after me all night, and it was
a good time.
It was so terrifying.
Wow, I wouldn't be able to do that. No way. No way. I mean,
I think anybody could.
Yeah, well, that looks so real. How long does it take you to completely transform yourself in the Nightmare Barbie?
It depends. There's some that I can bang out in an hour, and then others 8-9 hours. A lot of makeups that I work on other people to take a little bit longer. One of the recent videos that I worked on, I had to do a full transformation of this guy into Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter, and took a few hours. But that was like a full prosthetic. So I do face paints, I do gore, special effects. I've made masks in the past. So I try to do like jack of all trades, and try to expand my art form on this.
And how do you, or where do you get all the makeup? And you said gore, so you know, the fake blood and all that. Is there, they sell that?
Yeah, so not necessarily around here, but there are stores. I know there's one in Boston that it's kind of like a costume store. We used to have Doherty's, I think it was called.
Yeah.
That was the only place that sold that stuff.
Gone now.
Yeah, unfortunately. When I started getting into this is when they decided to close their doors. But, now
They should have stayed open. They'd make a fortune off you.
Literally, they could keep their business open for how much I have to buy all the time. But no, there's different websites that I use, and I just kind of do my research, and that helps with the networking. I see friends of mine using certain products. I'm like, I'm going to try that product. I'm going to try that product. So, you know, everything revolves around social media nowadays. And
where do you see yourself going?
I don't know. I think
Seriously.
Hollywood.
I mean, you know, you're no longer a 13-year-old. You're a grown-up woman. You're living your life. You got a beautiful home. You've got everything going for you, and you know, you've got great family support. But I mean, you look and go, either you want to see more like we talked about before, or you go, damn girl, you're weird. You know, I mean, it'd be like, what the hell? I think it's cool.
Trust the process and enjoy the adventure. That's kind of what I'm going with. I don't want to live too far in the present because I'm having such a good time right now. So I think right now we'll just take it day by day, and whatever comes tomorrow, enjoy the journey.
Jordyn, have you ever? Has she put makeup on you?
She did. Oh, wow. So she did last year for Halloween. It was really quick, but the one I thought of was when we were in high school. This was before she had done stuff like this. So
okay.
Her talent
So the
wasn't
interest was there, but the talent was not.
Yeah, and she
where
had
it is
to
today.
make a little video for the morning announcements, and I was not, like, people in school who didn't know we were related were shocked because we were so different. So she and we painted each other's faces and made each other look so weird, and this was like on the morning announcements, and I was like, that wasn't me. But her mom has the creepiest pictures of us, like in their window, and just
but those are great memories.
Oh yeah,
those are great memories.
we have a lot of those.
Yeah, you had the like wedding dress.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, Ashley, actually get yourself out there so people see you and they know what you do, so you maybe can get something in return? How do you get yourself out there? Just social media?
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, it hasn't been until recently. Things have just been kicking off out of nowhere, but usually I just do this for myself, honestly, but I post the photos on my social media sites just because obviously it's for myself, but if other people enjoy watching, which they do, I run into people all the time that I haven't talked to in years and never really thought that they really are kind of in the back watching, and they go, I love watching your work, and every time you post, I'm like, oh wow, you know, you're actually paying attention. But it wasn't until recently I've had people reach out to me. So you know, I'm thankful for that and everything. And if it gets to the point where I'm able to keep doing this, yeah, I definitely will start reaching out. I know there's been a few filming in Syracuse and like Western New York. If I can get a strong portfolio together other than just me messing around in my basement, then I can start submitting these things and see where it goes.
I'll say messing around in your basement has done well for you. I mean, from what I've seen and I hear, and here you are, how long did it take you to do that we're looking at right now?
It was like an hour and a half, I think, something like that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. And do you go by a picture, or is it just you in front of that mirror that you talked about?
It depends. So if I'm doing a specific character, I'll usually put a reference photo up. The face that I'm wearing right now is actually a Nightmare Barbie original. If you've been on my profile before, this face has shown up on other pictures. I think this is the third time I've done this
so
face.
Maybe it's an easier one for you to do.
Oh, yeah,
you were limited in time. I get all that, but it's just, to me, I'm blown away by it.
Thank you.
So it's just, even the dog went the other way. So I'm just, now you've got, those are contacts, as we talked about earlier, right?
Yep.
And they don't hurt your eyes at all? You can see through those?
Yeah. There
That's
are some
weird.
contacts that you can't see through. There's these white mesh ones that it feels like you have a veil over your head. So those ones I don't travel in. But no, I'm kind of used to it too, because I'd wear contacts at the haunt too. So there were times that you just had to adapt to whatever room you were in. And I don't know. Like I said, they sell the character. Sometimes normal eye colors just don't work out for characters.
Do you ever feel like just doing it for fun to scare the shit out of somebody?
Oh, I do it all the time. I've
Really?
gone to the grocery store. I'll probably go to the grocery store after I leave your house.
Dressed like that?
Oh, yeah.
She's fun.
I guess. And what do you do? If somebody says something, you just ignore them?
I just play out the character.
Just play? No,
I feel like
that's good.
Nobody would say anything to you unless they were like, "That looks awesome."
No, they would
like,
say
nobody
something
would come
that-
up to you and be like,
Right. I don't think, I think Jordan's right. They'd come up and say, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But once they got in their car with whoever, they're going to go, man, that I don't know what the hell just happened.
You should have seen this girl in the grocery
Exactly.
store.
I mean, it's the end of October. It's kind of normal right now, but if I do it in February,
Yeah.
I
So
could.
will you dress up on Halloween?
I don't know what I'm going to do for Halloween this year. I took off Halloween and the day after. I always do. On January 1st, I'm like, Halloween, take it off.
That's like your
But-
big Halloween to you is like Christmas to the rest
Absolutely. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Jordan's the Christmas person. I'm the
I know.
Halloween person.
Yeah, and I can testify to that. I've seen her on Christmas. So, wow, this is just blowing me away. How expensive is it to maintain that hobby that you have?
If you look at all the equipment in your room, you will understand that this is an investment.
Touche.
Every art form is an
Bam.
investment.
You know, you have a point. Well, this is the Skip Happens podcast studio, and like I said in the beginning, we do a little bit of everything. And of course, tonight talking about Halloween and what you're doing. But you're right. I mean, I dumped a lot of money into the podcast studio.
It takes time.
So
When I first started 5 years ago, I was buying Walmart tubes of paint that were 99 cents a tube, and they would crack on your face and look horrible. But I was like, you know what? This looks awesome. No.
so
now
there's
it's
different
cringy.
grades.
Yeah, I mean, it will work for someone. Like if you have a kid that wants to have a really cool Halloween costume with face paint, then absolutely, buying those are fine. But for what I'm doing, obviously, I've learned through the time that in this particular industry for like makeup and stuff, name brand does matter. So I've reached the point where, well, years ago I stopped buying like, the Walmart tubes and stuff, and I started getting actual name brand products, and you definitely, what you pay for is what you're getting. Your $2 paint is not going to hold up the way your $15 palette paint.
I guess
is.
it goes like with microphones with
Absolutely.
me.
Yep.
You don't want to get a $12 microphone. You want to get a $1,200 microphone. I mean, just because, it's going to sound better and, all the way around, it's much better. So.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, it's been thousands have been spent, but
you
honestly,
love it.
like it at the end of the day, it has no matter what the money value is, because it's something I love to do,
Exactly.
and if I have to spend the money to do something I love, then I'm gonna keep doing it. So
Now, have you researched this at all? Like they must. You need makeup for all these movies, all these videos. I know you said you do a lot of your own videos, and I saw something on social media recently. But there's got to be some of these big companies that are looking for makeup artists, and obviously, your talent and how long you've been doing this is. I mean, I could see you doing something like that. I know you don't work in that type of field right now, but I could see you doing that.
The problem right now is just the consistency. Obviously, if I was doing this as a career, if I lived in Hollywood and we're doing it, then I would be like, okay.
And we'd be coming to your house for Christmas, I'm just saying.
I need snow. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring fake snow.
We might have it pretty soon. But
oh, please don't say that.
That's it. It is what it is. But nothing we can do about that. But there must be opportunities like that.
I'm sure, but it's a lot of travel. I mean, like I said, recently there's been a few films in Syracuse, but you're not going to see a whole lot up here compared to, again, if you were in Hollywood or I know down south is where like The Walking Dead was and everything. So
have you thought about it?
I have.
Have you looked it up online? Have you just stayed up nights searching, saying, this is what I want to do?
Right now, it's still on the surface. Like I said, just out of nowhere recently, it's with all these opportunities I've had, it's giving me a better mindset on it, because I think before it was more the nerves of I've been so used to just doing this in the mirror on my own face that now I have to do it on somebody else, and that it's a whole different beast working on someone else. So, and I didn't know how I would feel about the nerves and pressure of working on set, but I've gotten my feet in the water after the last few weeks of doing that for several different types, and I honestly think that I'd be capable of doing it.
I think you could. And I'm watching you as you talk, and all the makeup, there's no cracks at all. Everything's moving with your skin. You know what I mean? This is definitely some good stuff.
It's my normal face.
Well, but and there must be. Is it like? Obviously, I don't know much about makeup, obvious reasons, but like bigger brushes, like little paint brushes. Is that what you use?
Yeah, there's a wide variety. I have probably over 200, 300 paintbrushes, and cleaning them takes over an hour.
Is everything like? You can wash it all.
Yeah.
How do you get that off? You just jump in the shower and...
Yeah, most of this paint that's on my face right now is actually water-based. So if you have the palette in your hands, you spray it with water before you even start painting. So, of course, we picked a day to do this when it was raining outside, so I was...
No, but you'd never know. It looks great.
You do have setting spray that you could do to waterproof it, but yeah, for the most part, just get in the shower, and then if you just scrub your face a little bit, it's completely gone.
Nightmare Barbie. Have you, do you own the name?
Not yet.
You should.
I know.
Bit of advice.
I've been looking into it. I don't know how the whole process goes. I've done a little research, but obviously it's easier to talk to people that have done it before. The only concern that I have at this point is obviously parts of the name. I don't know if we have to work with the spelling or what.
That is, you got to think that out a little bit. You might have to get some
or change the name.
Legal advice.
No, we're not going to change the name. We'll get creative.
It'll be
See, both of you.
It's Barbie.
Well, there you go. I mean,
you
never I don't, because you never know who's going to be seeing this. So I would just kind of keep some of those thoughts to yourself. But obviously you've been doing this a long time, as we talked, and, finding out about what you do and how you do it and the prices and, everything you have invested in a hobby that you absolutely love.
And I've started to branch out too. I mean, Nightmare Barbie itself is, really ultimately was like my haunt character alter ego, but when it comes down to, I've looked into possibly doing like a clothing line too and stuff, because little small businesses revolved around that horror genre would work too, but those names in particular aren't associated with Nightmare Barbie. I'm not going to say any names yet because I have not released anything on that yet.
And I wouldn't. I'd be careful, because this will hit social media, and there are followers, and there's some people out there that may kind of take your idea and run with it, and you don't want that right now. So keep a lot of those thoughts.
It's not Nightmare Barbie, but there are some ideas in the works. So
exactly. Let's go back a little bit. If I remember correctly, you did a video. You won one or two big awards.
I did.
A few. Well, tell us about them, because that's
an
honor.
This wouldn't come up?
What? No, I mean, it's a podcast, baby. This is going to be like
Skip happens.
Skip happens.
Oh,
This is
no.
what it's about. And with Skip happens, like I mentioned a couple of times already, you never know what's going to happen. So, and tonight, of course, Halloween's right around the corner, and that's why you're here.
Someone is calling me upstairs.
So, no, but I remember you want a guitar.
Yes, I want a signed guitar from In This Moment for they had a contest for like a lip sync video. I didn't really do any makeup in it.
I thought you did. No,
No,
okay,
not
all
that
right.
one.
Was there another one? What am I thinking of? Maybe I'm not. Maybe your uncle's a little
Was it
whacked.
the one that we had to take pictures in like all the public places, like the list of pictures?
That was a contest, but it wasn't a video.
Oh, okay.
We had to do boomerangs though.
Oh yeah.
I won that contest though too.
I know you did.
Yeah, but that shows how creative you are, though. You're doing the makeup, and you've also done a lot of these videos, and you do all those yourself. You mix them all down, the music, and you said it was with the lip syncing.
Yeah, I mean, some of the songs are.
And for you to win a national contest like that, I mean, that's quite the honor. I mean, when you think about it, that's big time.
Yeah,
Big
I
time.
mean, it comes naturally with any of that stuff, but it was a bittersweet thing. I mean, it was amazing to work with my friends to make this happen, and it also my friend Danielle won as well. I think she got third place, so it was really nice to see that both of our hard work had paid off. The only thing that was kind of the downfall of it is, which is naturally going to happen with anything, you're not going to please everybody, but I did get a lot of hate mail on the side, a lot of people messaging me in like private inbox on
Haters will
social
hate.
media.
That's
that
all
are,
there
you
is
know,
to it.
Hey, if somebody
But-
doesn't hate you, you're doing it wrong.
I didn't even get them the satisfaction of
good
opening the
point.
message. So
No, exactly. Just you
Not
know
worth
enough.
the
You're
time.
strong enough. You hold your head high. You just move on. It's not worth the
but
time.
that comes
Haters are
natural
gonna
with
hate,
anything.
and
Right.
that's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, skip happens. Oh, but then other people are
we
like,
all have our
What?
haters.
Where?
yeah, and then other people are like, Skip is the greatest person ever.
I don't know.
Like, so
It's the way it is. It's
Yeah.
life, and people are like that. So you take the good with the bad. You just
Yes.
keep moving ahead.
that just makes the fire bigger. I mean,
does.
honestly, like anytime there's any criticism, if it's constructive criticism, take it. But if
Right.
it's anybody that's trying to knock you down, just use it to fuel your fire even bigger. So
They're knocking you down because they can't do what you can do.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We've been there. You know,
Thanks,
I work in
Dolly.
the entertainment business, and what you're doing, more or less, this is entertainment, something you love, and you produce the videos, and you've done all that. And there's going to be people that haters.
Yeah.
Haters will hate.
Comes with the territory.
It does.
yes, it does.
It does. So now what? What are we going to do? So you're going to do this for the rest of your life. What I'm saying, you need to go and you need to pursue this. You need to go after your dream. I know you're well educated, and as I mentioned before, you do very well in life, and we're all proud of you as part of your family. But even though we think you're weird, but it's a good thing. I'm kidding with you. You know that.
I almost wore a hat that said strange across it. So.
Well, I would expect
Gee.
that from you. I would expect that. So that's very cool. So you've made a great investment. You've been doing a lot of what you love to do, and everybody's, a lot of the family was like, you got to get Ashley on, and because we all know how good this is. We all know how talented you are. So we're all behind you 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And you go to work every day. Nobody would even know it's you.
Yeah, I mean, my a lot of people at my job are always like, "You need to leave. You need to go to Hollywood." Or my manager will always say, "I'm just waiting for you to put your 2 weeks in and say I'm going to Hollywood." So
Well, I
They-
think they would
they know,
support
but-
you if it came to that, because they know what's in your heart, and doing this and having some great opportunities. And
I think the only thing that holds me not necessarily back is I like the balance of things. So honestly, again, I would love to pursue it as a career, but sometimes, I mean, every job has its stress and stuff. So, I mean, sometimes I get home from work and this is like, some people go to the gym, some people read a
Right.
book, some people binge watch Netflix.
You don't have to talk all about me, Ash. God.
This is my release. So, like, if I was doing this as a career, what would my new release be if there was a stressful day? You know?
Right,
So that's
right.
kind of the.
no, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I
You go
agree.
home now, and this is your release.
Yeah.
This is the way, you just sit down and do this. But if you did this for a living,
What would be your
Binge
release?
watch Netflix.
what do you think it would be? What do you think it would be? Binge watch Netflix?
No, I don't know. I probably.
Do you
just-
watch Netflix?
No, not
Do you
really.
watch any of
I
the
do a little
crazy
bit.
stuff? What do you watch that, is it, Like, do you watch the programs that are kind
I don't
of
have
Like, are
cable,
you into
so-
like serial killer stuff?
Yeah. So
yeah, what are you into?
I mean, I went to school for forensic science, so
Yeah, but
I originally wanted to pursue a job when I was going the forensic route. My ultimate goal was to work with the FBI for like criminal profiling or anything related to serial killers and stuff. Am I one of those people that binge watches the documentaries all the time? Not necessarily. I actually like to read the books more. But I don't know. I don't watch a lot of horror movies either. People would expect like, oh, you must be going to see this movie that's coming out. I'm like, I'm not. I'll get to it when I get to it, but it's not.
But if you had the book, you'd read it.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to going to the
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just depends. But
This is so cool. I just can't. I keep staring at your eyes. Going,
I'm just gonna glare into your
this is
soul
creepy.
the whole time.
But
Every
it
family
Skip
function.
Happens, and it's a little bit different of a podcast, but I think it's really interesting to talk to somebody that, I mean, we're not dealing with a child here. Ashley's an adult, of course, very,
Sometimes.
we all have fun. It does, I mean, it does. We'll leave it at that.
Sometimes I need an adult.
But what you're doing, it's your love of, putting this makeup on and being different. It's your alter ego. Everybody has an alter ego, I believe. Just maybe there's a lot of us that it hasn't
I think
come out yet. But
yeah, I was
it
gonna
will.
say. I think the problem is like growing up, I was more conserved because I mean every kid goes through it, but like you get those people that kind of bully down on you and stuff, and I was always more conserved in myself because I felt like I was always the weird kid or whatever. Now it's just gotten to the point in my life where I don't care. Like if you think I'm weird, then don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And then other people absolutely love it. So
I think that's as you mature.
oh yeah.
I think that's you start
Just be
learning
yourself.
that you just
Yeah.
need to be yourself. Don't worry
Yeah.
about everybody
Mhm.
or anybody
100%.
else.
You're not gonna make
So-
everybody happy, so you might as well make yourself happy.
And you got your mom and dad behind you. I know that for a fact.
I mean, my dad always was the one that would promote things to get crazier in my photo shoots. I remember we did an Easter horror it was Easter photo shoot, and I did this like sinister rabbit mask, and I had a stuffed animal rabbit I had gotten from like the Salvation Army, and he was like, "Give me that thing, I'll be right back." And he goes downstairs. He comes back upstairs. The rabbit's head is no longer on the body, and it's on like a wooden stake. And he's like, "Here you go." I'm like, "Thanks,
What?
Dad."
But he was looking to give you that other angle.
Yeah, he always, and
Wow.
even with the photos, sometimes he's like, "Do that, do that."
Yeah, that's your
and
dad.
when I used to live with them, he always wanted to take the photos. So I mean, it's always a full family participation. My mom will be helping out on the side with different things. My brothers have been involved. It's just
And if you're watching this podcast, there you go. There's a good example of, just be yourself, do something you love. Doesn't matter what it is, and hopefully you have and I think hopefully most people have the support of the family and the backing, mom and dad. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you get. They're still your mom and dad, and they're still going to support you. And wow, look at you, girl. Damn. I got to stop looking because the eyes are freaking me out.
You can look at me for a little while.
I'm trying. And oh, well. There she is. That's Ashley. Anything else you'd like to add? I mean, this is, if somebody wanted to get into this, what would you recommend?
I think that a lot of people say that they can't do this, and I will bet so much money on you that you are dead wrong. It comes down to the practice, the patience. You got to put the time in it if you want to actually do it. But I believe honestly anybody can do this if they truly have it in their heart to do it. But I mean, for anybody that is interested in doing this kind of stuff, it's trial and error. Don't give up after the first time or maybe the 50th time. Just keep going, because there's always going to be, you could do this for 30 years and you're still going to look at your work and say, I wish I did that different. But you know what? That's how you improve the next time, and you keep improving every time. I'm self-taught, so I'm constantly telling myself, next time do this, next time do that, and I will be doing it for the rest of my life. But anybody that wants to do this, like, start now.
Do it.
And you will thank yourself later.
What about Comic-Con?
Oh, I love going to Comic-Con.
You just went to Chicago not
Yep.
too long ago.
Yep, Danielle and I go actually every year to Chicago.
Now, Danielle is like one of your best friends?
Yep, that is my
Okay.
best friend, and she does exactly the same stuff. She does, gore, body paints, and everything.
Now, did she get into it because of you?
No, honestly, we always joke around about this, but we always say the stars aligned with our friendship. We've always been into the same stuff growing up, but how many times in your life can you say you just randomly met somebody, not on the basis of, like, we didn't meet on makeup, we met in like grade school, and I think it was like junior high or whatever, and, you know, she loved to do it, I love to do it, and we just love the same things, and it's, again, stars just aligned, and it's really cool to see your best friend do the same stuff. So
now, Comic-Con's not really makeup like you. This
yeah.
is more. It is. Well, I don't think it's. Well, I guess it would be.
it depends what you're doing, because I
Yeah.
mean, there's
I'm
so
thinking about it now. A
so
little
much
bit.
variety. Yeah. I mean, we actually also don't do just horror stuff. So we also make costumes, and we do different things, like we did Bowsette and Boozette, which is like gender bend for Mario last time, and we build our armor with different foams and stuff. And we've been trying to expand with that. So, yeah, we go to Chicago every year, and we did go to a convention in Syracuse a few months back. But
Is that the one at, was it at the mall?
it was at the fairgrounds.
Oh, the fairgrounds. I know they had something. Maybe it was a couple of years ago over at Destiny, the mall here in the Cuse. So
Yeah. So I'm trying to also do that, learning that. I've been reading different books and stuff from people that are career cosplayers. And I do have the stuff to start building armor, but I want to do like a full armor set from World of Warcraft. And I also have a friend of mine that's pretty good with like wiring and lighting and stuff. So we're going to incorporate lights and stuff in that. So it'll be a different swing of things, but Comic-Con's always a blast. And to see everybody's hard work put together in one convention, and you know, there's no judgment at those places,
and you get a lot of ideas.
Oh yeah, and you get kids that are looking up to you and stuff, and it's just overall an amazing feeling. So those are a good time. And even if you're not the kind of person that's like, oh, I don't want to dress up, I don't want to go out in public like that, just go to one and watch the energy, because it's phenomenal. So it's a good time.
It's crazy. What about do you watch like Star Wars or any of those?
I've never seen Star Wars.
Okay.
Me either. Okay.
The two people that have
Everybody's
never
gonna
seen Star
unfollow
Wars.
me now.
I know. There you
It's
go.
okay.
Click. Done. No, because I look at that and I look at all the different characters that
Not
are
a
in that.
galaxy kind of person.
Okay. All right. We'll let that go. That's
My
all right,
brother
but
could
no.
talk to you all day about Star Wars.
I'm sure he could. And now, of course, the final episode's coming out. So final movie. So released that trailer. I think it was
I
yesterday.
heard
but
they broke like the record.
Yeah,
for,
it
like
was
most views or most. I don't
really?
know.
of the trailer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. But no, I was just curious because of the different characters within Star Wars. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, you're talking about Comic-Con, you
well,
see
you
all the
will
different
see all
char-
those characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what got me thinking about that.
Well, we've done a variety of things. So we've done, she did Harley Quinn and I did Poison Ivy. So we do have comic book stuff going on, but we've also done horror characters and taking like a normal character and bending it. So we've done a Alice in Wonderland horror version. We've done Nightmare Before Christmas. We've done Chucky and Tiffany.
Chucky
The doll. Yep.
Creepy.
So
Yeah.
just a variety of things, but
I mean, you're too tall to be Chucky. Isn't Chucky was
I mean, he
You're a
can be
little too
whatever.
blonde to be.
Yeah,
Chucky.
that too.
I
That
have
too.
a whole wall of wigs. It's fun.
Now, do you keep like a diary of all the different
so,
characters that you
no,
produce?
No, not necessarily, but I actually, my father.
photo album?
Yes, I do have a portfolio thing.
Okay.
But my father bought me a journal not long ago. He was having a sappy moment. Sorry, Dad, I gotta talk about it.
I know. I think he told me this, but go ahead.
Yeah, he bought a journal and it had like a really nice saying on the front of it, but it basically was like kind of what I said earlier, like enjoy the journey and stuff. I'll always be there for you or with you. So I've been using that particularly as my journal log for all of these different events that I've had regarding like the music videos, the full-length film that I was down in Baltimore for, basically like the big adventures. I've been keeping track of those and everything and putting like business cards in it. And I want to like pin different photos for each one. So then, 10 years down the road, who knows where I'll be, but it would be nice to look back and go, wow, these are some of my first gigs doing this and look where we are now.
It's like all of us, no matter what we do.
Yeah.
We always, doing what I do, I have tapes.
Yeah.
From way back when. And I go, ugh.
Tapes.
You don't even know what they are.
We're not that young.
Well, okay. But, wow, this is really interesting, and I'm just thoroughly impressed with everything that you've done, and to see the makeup and what you've invested. And your message with Skip Happens, this podcast is, and I hope everybody that when you view this or you listen to this, that you get something out of this. What Ashley is doing, she's doing what she loves. This is in her heart, and this is her way of just breaking free out of the, listening all day long or working. I'm sorry, the phone's ringing in the background here because
Skip happens.
It'll skip happens. So this is a skip happens. So just they get the message that you need to do something that you love. So, and
I think also too, one thing I've learned too through the time I said earlier, like I used to look up to people. Anybody that's watching this wants to do this stuff, feel free to reach out at any point to any artists and stuff. I know people get scared about that stuff, but honestly, the community for the people that do this stuff are great people. They're always willing to help. If you want to do like a copycat image of what they're doing, they're probably not going to be open to doing that. But if you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know what supplies to use, always reach out, build off each other, build each other up. That, this community is not one to break each other down and say, oh, I could do better than that. That's not what this is about. It's about growing yourself and then, having a blast with everybody else. It's not a competition.
Right.
So.
All right. Anything else you want to add? I think you said it all.
I think we're good.
Wow. Jordyn hasn't said too much over there, but
I know.
She wants to get back to reading a book. So.
Hey.
My brother made a comment about your Goodreads app. He's like, I feel like Jordyn reads a book every 3 days.
Pretty much. She can. I mean, it's amazing what she does. What are you reading right now?
Okay. So it's a creepy book. You might like it.
Okay. All right.
It's called Verity, and it's about...
Oh, wait, no, that's not the one I thought you were reading.
It's about this author who somebody reaches out and asks her to, like, ghostwrite the rest of the series because the author can't do it anymore because she was injured, but, like, creepy stuff's going on, and she might be faking it, and she's actually a terrible person.
Did you just read Shirley?
Yeah.
I read The Haunting of Hill House, yeah.
That's what I thought.
And where do you get the books to read? I mean, where do you get the idea, or maybe you saw an ad or something for the book, or what do you know, or do you follow a certain author?
So I am part of Book of the Month with one of my best friends. So every month
Didn't Oprah used to have Book of the Month?
She has a book club, yeah.
Okay, all right.
They give you like 5 selections, and you pick if you want one. You can skip the month. Reese Witherspoon has a book club, so I follow her on Instagram, and she does a book a month. But usually when you're just feeling down, you just go to the bookstore for a while. Pick up some books.
There you go. See, that's your release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you both work very stressful jobs all day, and
the same job.
We do the same.
That's what I mean.
For
that's what
companies.
I'm saying. But it's very stressful. So you go home and read. You go home, put your makeup on, and
it's so nice to have like.
I come home and I
release,
sit and skip
like,
happens.
You have somebody else who's going through the same thing who knows.
We've always been doing this. Like literally, we worked at a grocery store at the same time together, and now here we are doing the same job now. Like we've always.
She worked at a
together.
video store.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do that.
That was fun. It was.
I don't know.
Job.
I don't know who does videos anymore. Everything's right on. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
streaming services are the thing.
DVDs are becoming like
the what?
an unknown thing, which is such a scary thing to hear. I was like, I still have my VHS tapes, so.
Well, do you have a VHS player?
No.
We do actually.
I found one.
I found one.
Probably at my parents' house.
There you go.
It kind of sucks. You have to rebuy like all these movies you used to have.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it.
Or just stream them.
All right. Wow, it's been great. Thank
time.
you for being a part of Skip Happens, and happy Halloween, everybody. It's kind of
thank
one
you
that
for inviting
kind
us.
of, well, thank you for kind of giving me the idea that, doing this together.
And next time I will paint your face.
We'll all be back for Christmas.
We will. And I'll pay you to wrap my gifts, too.
Okay.
I think we've been doing that for how many years? But
10 years now.
yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. It's Skip Happens. And of course, Ashley and Jordyn joining us tonight, actually my nieces. And you can see they all have their own little interest from reading books to putting on some crazy makeup and wearing some really like funky contacts. It's creeping me out.
Girl.
All right. Good night, everybody. Wait a minute. Oh, no, we got to do this. Just thought I'd do that. Let's do it again. Let me get this.
Twilight Zone.
Let me get this.
Disney.
Good night.